Hi, I am JR. Welcome to the second lesson on how to read a music sheet. You might be wondering why it is important to learn to read the music sheet as a music learner. The reason for this question is fairly simple. Learning to read music sheets allows you to play any music through the music sheet, as well as able to identify the theoretical parts about a wonderful piece. As if why some of the composer's music sound completely perfect, and what kind of chord progression make the song sound more adorable and etc. In this lesson, I will brief through all the important steps for you to overcome your anxiety or lack of confidence to read the music. I will go through you some of the tips on how a musician analyzes music without listening to a completely new score. Alright, let's get started. Remember what we learned from the previous lesson. A staff contains 5 lines and 4 spaces. So, what are the notes contain when it is treble or bass clef? From this figure, we can see the top staff is the treble clef, while the bottom staff the bass clef. Alright, this is the sequence of the notes of a C major scale. Remember, in the treble clef, the middle C is below the first lines from the bottom, with a ledger line extended. However, for bass clef, middle C appears to be the note above the staff. So, what is a middle C? The general idea of middle C is a reference of the note which is close to the middle part of a keyboard. It is also important when we are dealing with a variety of sounding musical instruments of different ranges. Especially in an orchestra, which has instruments higher or lower than an octave from middle C. Alright, let's say we started on C, the note which is next to it will be the D. Continue from the D, we have E, F, G, A, B. And we started over again at C, but a higher octave one. These notes move from space, line, and so on. So, to know what is the next note, you just have to count the note right beside the reference to get the next note. To make things easier, the cycle of A, B, C, D, E, continue and keep on repeating. Same thing for the bass clef, but opposite direction. The note under C is B. And next under B is A, and so on. Alright, before that let's me show you the accidentals. A flat lead you to move a semitone to the left, or lower the note by halftone. Sharp is the opposite way, increase the note by halftone. Okay, so how about the natural? Natural come in when there is sharp or flat already in front of a note. A natural note plays its original note. F sharp to F, G flat to G. To help us out, look at a keyboard. Don't worry if you never touch a piano. I will demonstrate to you some of the basics you can imitate from a piano. Now, let's get into it. A full-size piano has 88 keys, with 7 octaves and 3 extra keys. Middle C is the key somewhere in the middle of the piano. Now keep in mind, let's take middle C as our reference in C major scale. Notice also that the middle C is 4th octave from the bottom, we can name it as C4. Now, count the white keys from the C. We have D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The repeating C, we call it as an octave higher C. Notice that we have black keys relative to the white keys. A black key between C and D will be C sharp or D flat. Then, we have D sharp or E flat, F sharp or G flat, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat. Not to mention that, sometimes, the F note is called E sharp, while the E note is called F flat. This is a special case. Maybe you will ask why we need E sharp or F flat. Is that so significant that we need to do so? Yeah, to understand this, you will have to learn more advanced music theory. We called it the unaltered note, the note which is not in the scale. To understand it, you may Google to find the answer, since this is not the main topic of this lesson. This seemed to be a good way, but is that any other method better than this one? Now, this is the most confusing part why many people give up learning to read music. You might be wondering how a musician can read the music sheet fluently, even though all lines and spaces look too similar to each other. This will lead you to the next method, memorize by using phrases and sentences. To link all these informations together, try to form a sentence. Every good boy does fine and good boy does fine art for lines, while for the spaces F, A, C, E, face, all cow eat grass. I hope you catch up with the idea that learning music is how creative you can be. There is not a definite best solution which one is better. Each method comes with the pros and cons. To be honest, I will stick to the interval method. Let's see what I mean. Interval. The definition is fairly simple, the distance between two notes. I will just point out some of the key ideas by using the interval. The first note, we call it as keynote. In this case, the keynote is C, since we are looking into C major scale. The second note of keynote is called second, third, fourth, and so on. But keep in mind, it is not eighth, but is an octave when we come to the higher octave C in this case. A C major seventh chord consists of a keynote, third, and fifth, which in seventh, all the line notes. By knowing the keynote, third, fifth, and seventh, basically you have everything that you need. For example, the note after third is F, the note after fifth is A. How about an octave higher or lower? Let's see this example. From reference note, we count 1, 3, 5, 7 and 8. So, the fourth from octave higher C, we will get a F note. Take a look at the next example. First thing, we have to list of 3 notes on the lines, which are C, E, B. The note after C is D. The note after G is A. Then, from the B, we will get the octave C. Third from C is E, and etc. In short, bear in mind the first, third, fifth and seventh represent what notes, then just count from the bottom until the note that you are reading. After a couple of training, you will definitely know the note without looking at any interval difference. But it might need months or years of training. So, no worry if you are not able to identify it at the beginning. Let's go to a little advanced topic, how a musician visualize a music. Wondering how the musical mind be like? Will be a little bit excited because a same piece may look differently at different stage. I already summarize out a few of points I used while looking at a piece. The first thing you have to do when you receive a piece is to identify the key signature. Key signature is another chapter of learning, but now keep in mind we have a key of C. So, you know C major has all the white keys without sharp and flat. Secondly, know your scale. Since it do not have sharp and flat, the note will be all the white keys from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Third thing you will have to do is identify the chords. Chord is a combination of 2 or more notes. That will be great if you can identify the cadence also. Besides that, learn the rhythm patterns of a piece will help you to shape the music well. And, by attempting to the same rhythm patterns through many of practices, you can find similarities, like most of the pop songs sound so similar in rhythm pattern. Finally, find for repeated patterns and shapes. Most of the time, composers will imitate the same rhythmic or pitch patterns for composition. So, find a repeated passages and groups of same rhythm. By doing this, you are actually reduce more than half of complexity in a music sheet. Look at the last example. A 12 variations of Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars by Amadeus Mozart. First thing, we know that it's in the key of C, so all white keys. I notice the first 2 bars have the same rhythmic pattern, but different pitch. The shape of the pitch changing also looks almost the same. Then, bars 5, 6, 7 look the same too. It looks like a note passings from a note to another. So, I don't have to look every note in the passage. Alright, let's move to the bass line. The first 3 bars looks fairly simple. Now, I have to learn the repeating rhythm from bar 3 to 5. I can use 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, then repeat again. Finally, this one depends on your ability whether you can identify it's a 2, 5, 1 cadence. Basically, you have everything about the piece. I will play you once to listen it. That's the end of lesson 2, hope you enjoy it. Not to mention, remember to hit the like buttons, subscribe my channel, and share this video to your friends. Hope to see you in the next lesson. Bye.